Welcome back to the Lion Experience. This is your boy, Lion of God. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, take the time to do so right now. So again, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Lion Experience, because all of my future videos, they're going to include some valuable information that's going to help you grow mentally, physically, and spiritually. What's up? It's your boy, Lion of God, and the question of the day is, why was Dr. Sebi right? Okay, first we need to know what Dr. Sebi's theory was all about. So Dr. Sebi's theory was about that if indeed an individual consumed a primary alkaline diet, right, that would control the body's pH system, which would limit the amount of mucus buildup, and the amount of mucus buildup would limit the existence of disease that could live in the body and take over it and pretty much ruin it. Now, this summer, right, back in April/May, what I did personally, I went on an alkaline vegan diet for about 45 to 50 days. What I discovered was an alkaline vegan diet was high nutrition, low calorie. So for a person like myself who's high level, training/working out, an alkaline vegan diet would not be sustainable, or it wouldn't allow a person like myself to work out efficiently. I mean, even a normal person consuming that few amount of fruits and vegetables, their bodies couldn't really operate optimally. Now, again, goes back to Dr. Sebi's theory. He was right about the body, or an alkaline vegan allowing the body to operate at its most efficient rate. Now, me myself, I'm currently training for a ultra marathon. Now, 100+ mile runs. I've been doing a lot of extensive research about what can I do, right, that can help ensure that I possess the mental, physical, and spiritual fortitude to push myself beyond my current limits, to allow myself to withstand and adapt and overcome those vigorous races that I'm about to endure. Now, what I discovered was something that every animal and organism is blessed with. What am I referring to? These are heat shock proteins, aka stress proteins. Now, I know you're probably wondering right now, what are heat shock proteins and what are stress proteins? Okay, I'm going to do my best to kind of keep this in order for it to all make sense to line up. Heat shock proteins are microfilaments at the cellular level that are activated when the body is placed under extreme levels of stress, or when we introduce an extreme calorie restriction, aka fasting, aka vegan/alkaline vegan lifestyle. Now, what takes place when these microfilaments surfaces? So these microfilaments, what they truly are, they're cells that enhances the body's self-repair system. And what they do is they mandate, organs, tissue, so on and so forth, to repair and rebuild themselves at a much faster and much higher efficient rate. For example, so let's just say that somebody goes out and run in 106-degree weather for the first time and they've never trained for it, right? 9 times out of 10, that person, if they run long enough and far enough, they will expose themselves into acquiring a heat stroke. And what is a heat stroke? A heat stroke happens once somebody gets out in extreme heat, right? Blood is pushed from the heart and it rushes to the skin, right, to do its best to cool that person off. Now, what takes place at that moment with all the rest, with the rest of the body? So now, every other working muscle, right, lacks oxygen-rich blood. And what is a heat stroke? Primarily, the brain lacks oxygen-rich blood, which allows it to function properly. So when someone has a heat stroke, right, the brain is now lacking oxygen-rich blood. So now it cannot, perform as intended. Now what heat shock proteins do, they surface, right, and they build a canal and they begin repairing those torn down organs, those torn down tissues, right, at a much more rapid, efficient rate. Meaning that now, what normally would have actually caused this person to endure a heat stroke, now the organs, the tissue, and everything is now working efficiently and optimally. So that is really how heat shock proteins work. We stress the body, or we put the body in a stressful situation, and now these filaments surface, which basically builds up those torn down tissues, ligaments, organs, so on and so forth, to repair themselves at a much more faster and efficient rate. Now, back this summer, I'm going to do my best not to jump all over the place. Now, back this summer, I always noticed something about my body, right? What did I notice? I noticed that days when it was like 100 degrees or 102 degrees, I could always run farther or run faster. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, I always felt better. I could always throw more push-ups, body squats, burpees into my quarter mile, half mile, and 1 mile repeats, where I was running 14 miles, 16 miles, 17 miles, 18 miles. On days when it wasn't as hot, I didn't feel as efficient or as immortal or as conditioned as I did on the days when the weather was at its worst, or when I say the heat was at its most extreme. At that time, I didn't really have a name for it, but I knew my body was doing something that was abnormal. Because again, on the days when I would put on jogging pants, sweatshirts, hoodies, double shirts, I always was able to push harder, and I wondered why I didn't fatigue as fast. So it goes back to show, again, as my muscles and tendons and ligaments and bones was being placed on extreme levels of stress, right? Heat shock proteins were surfacing during that time, me unknowingly, but I always knew that, me personally, I always know that the more we push the body, right, the more we overtrain ourselves, the stronger, faster, more endurance, more mentally focused, more spiritually in tune we come back. So during that time, I knew that things was happening, but I didn't know what it was actually called at that time. Now, fast forward to current time, right? About a week ago, I ran in 28-degree weather, same thing. My fastest half marathon in 1 hour and 33 minutes, which was about a 7-minute and 3-second pace. And I ran my fastest 16 mile in about 1 hour and 54 minutes. So again, my coldest, it was wet outside, feet frozen, fingers kind of numb, but I was still able to not be weakened by the extreme weather conditions, which it was below freezing. So again, being below freezing, my heat shock protein resurfaced again, right? And when my organs, such as my tissues of my fingers, my heart, my lungs, my liver, everything that is really trying to function as God intended on it to function, as it was trying to fail or cause me to, stop during my run, they basically rebuilt themselves at a much more rapid pace, so I wouldn't be as cold, so I wouldn't lose as much focus, and I would stay tuned in with myself for the entire run. So about Monday, right, I didn't wake up I didn't go to sleep Sunday night intending on waking up Monday morning doing a fast. But Monday morning I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm going to decide I'm going to do a fast, because now I now understand that, you know what, exactly, again, back to what Dr. Sebi was saying. A vegan lifestyle, right? We are naturally placing our bodies under stress. How and why? Because when we eat nothing but plants and vegetables, right, that goes straight through our system. Our bodies aren't really putting in an extreme level of work to digest and get that food out of our bodies. So again, our bodies are naturally being under a natural calorie deficit. Now, the natural, calorie deficit, again, that's extreme level. So me starting my fasting is another extreme level that I'm placing my body, or extreme level of stress I'm placing my body on. So now I'm restricting my body of all foods, right? So now all my organs are going to do its best to kind of so-called fail, right? Now heat shock proteins again are surfacing. You know how I know? Because Monday I woke up, I hit the sauna twice, anywhere from an hour or two. Literally. I still worked out, still benched heavy, 225, 3 sets of 6. So I was still just as strong as I was depleted and calorie deficient. And again, I'm already vegan, so now my body is already under an extreme level of natural stress. However, my nutrition is at its highest, right? Because a vegan lifestyle gives us the best chance of living the longest quality life. Now, here's the additional kicker. As my days progress from Monday until today, Thursday. Today, Thursday this morning, I just ran my first 9-miler, completely fasted. No food has entered my body since Monday. I lost about 6 pounds of water. I woke up Monday weighing about 150. When I finished my run today, I weighed about 131. So it's as crazy as it sounds, right? Heat shock proteins, right? We are what God intended us to be. We are God. God lives in us, right? God gave our body the ability to heal and rebuild itself. And like I always say, the things we put in our bodies, right, and the things we place our bodies around dictates the quality of life that we will experience until we die. Now, here's another kicker. Why does old people, right, get shriveled up, get weak, and end up dying sooner than people that are younger, or whatever? Or you see what I mean? As we get older, right, our muscle tissues, our bones, our ligaments, our tendons, our brains, our organs become weak. However, this is a fact. People who place themselves or place their bodies on extreme levels of stress, and people who eat less, again, vegans, or people who live a lifestyle of some type of natural calorie restriction, they give themselves the best chance of having the most prolific chance to acquire eternal youth. Because again, it goes back to the same point that I was just making. As we place our bodies under extreme levels of stress, guess what is happening as we age? We are mandating those same microfilaments to surface, and instead of our muscles and skin, liver, heart, brain, everything, instead of it becoming weaker, now we're mandating those microfilaments, heat shock proteins, stress proteins, right, to repair our ligaments, skin tissue, muscle fibers, bones, everything about us at a much more rapid rate, which as we age, we continue to look extremely young. And the whole purpose of me not wearing a shirt during this YouTube video is to show you I'm 39 right now, a wife and 4 kids. I got a full-time job. I got a business that I promote, which is Prolongevity Fitness. I'm a certified trainer, but my number one goal is to change the world by what? Changing how people think and process information. what we must do as humans, right? We must unlearn everything that the world has tried to teach us, because the world is literally pumping everybody with information that truly limits us and allows the people who is really at the top, that's getting all the money and that really has no care about our well-being, right? They're keeping us at the bottom. And a guy like me, right? I don't take medicine. I don't take any type of supplements. I'm vegan. I'm all natural. I work out. I push myself beyond my limits. And this has been me my entire life. So I never get sick. I never miss days at work. I'm just really the guy that pharmaceutical companies, doctors, they love to hate me, because again, if indeed I can get the world right to think and to process information like myself, and to have the desire to push their mind, their bodies, their spirits, right? And to truly understand the science behind how we're supposed to operate and how God created us to operate, there would be literally little to zero existence, right, of disease in our bodies. Because again, heat shock proteins, they're designed to do what? Repair our system, which also does what? Repairs our immune system. Which, what does our immune system fight? Diseases. It fights the normal colds. It fights cancer. So right now, they're actually doing research on how to basically enhance or how to use heat shock / stress proteins to fight cancer. Now again, that goes back to what Dr. Sebi was saying, that when someone lives a alkaline vegan lifestyle, right, it controls the amount of mucus in their body, which does what? Controls the amount of disease, which does what? Limit the ability for any type of cancerous cells to grow. So it goes back to heat shock proteins, right? So as we place our bodies under extreme levels of stress, again, we're keeping really all of our organs, right, operate at the highest level as God intended them to operate. And we're doing it without any type of medicine. We're doing it by literally pushing ourselves beyond the limits. And you know what? This is another kicker. And this is the reason why they tell people not to overtrain. They want you not to overtrain, because if indeed you lived your life overtraining, you would live your life, illness-free. You would live your life with the clearest, most mind. You would live your life and your organs would operate at the most efficiency level. So again, why was Dr. Sebi right? Heat shock proteins, stress proteins. Now, I do believe that he went about it the wrong way. Again, goes back to every man and woman that's trying to sell a product is going to switch the truth to benefit their pocket. This is your boy, Lion of God. If you would like to continue watching this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Lion Experience. If indeed you would like to continue listening to this song, On the Moon, follow my son's YouTube channel, AVNJ. Again, AVNJ. Thank you and have a blessed day.